Every empire has a twin unseen on maps, the black market. No matter how modern or glittering a financial system appears, a shadow economy always breathes in its basement. It is the place where truth trades in whispers, while the official world shouts lies from the podiums. Because when money loses its function and the system locks up, people do not wait for permission slips from bureaucrats to survive. They build a second world where laws, banks, and central planners hold no sway. The fuel of this order is threefold: desperation, trust, and gold. That is the part you will never see in economists' fancy charts. The black market is not a glitch in capitalism. It is capitalism in its purest, wildest form, unmasked by a PR department. Remember Weimar Germany, 1923. The mark wasn't just losing value, it was dissolving into thin air. A loaf of bread that cost 250 marks in January had skyrocketed to 200 million by November. Cash was effectively trash. People threw bundles of banknotes into their stoves instead of wood because burning money was cheaper than buying coal. Children played with stacks of millions like building blocks in the streets. The government called it a temporary fluctuation. The people called it the apocalypse. They abandoned paper scraps and clung to anything real: gold, silver, foreign coins, even cigarettes. A single gold wedding ring was a life insurance policy that could feed a family for weeks. Paper money had literally turned into wallpaper. When belief dies, the black market takes the wheel. The same tragedy played out across a war-torn Europe. States rationed food, medicine, and fuel in the name of justice. But justice cannot survive where scarcity exists. In occupied Paris, coffee was a forbidden treasure, sugar a luxury, and penicillin a miracle, granted only to those with gold or powerful connections. Soldiers and civilians, enemies by day, turned into traitors in backrooms by night, swapping uniforms for gasoline, diamonds for food. In the Warsaw Ghetto, smugglers risked death every day just to get a loaf of bread inside. The state called them criminals. The starving called them heroes. The immutable law of collapse is this: legality and morality never collapse at the same time. One leaves, the other remains. By the Cold War, the system had institutionalized the art of lying. The Soviet Union claimed to have abolished markets entirely, yet everyone knew someone who could get things done. A refrigerator wasn't bought with money, but with a bottle of vodka. Need car parts? A carton of Marlboros opened every door. Blue jeans were not just clothing, they were a currency, proof that Western luxury was more valuable than socialist equality. Even the ones at the very top, the elites, were dependent on this web. While preaching austerity to the masses, the wives of party officials bought French perfumes, smuggled through Finland from secret stores, exclusive to them. It wasn't poverty that ended communism, it was the colossal hypocrisy of denying the black market's existence. In Latin America, the stage was different, but the script remained the same. In Argentina, 2001, when banks shuttered and froze accounts, the people woke up penniless. The blue dollar became the country's only beating heart. The official rate was a joke. The street rate was survival itself. People tried to keep their lives spinning in alleyways, hair salons, and on sidewalks, with rates changing twice a day. Venezuela took it further. Inflation became so grotesque that you needed a backpack full of cash, not a wallet, just to go to the grocery store. What was the solution? Gold dust. Yes, actual gold dust. Weighed on kitchen scales and traded in plastic bags as real money. The government condemned it, yet quietly used the very same system to keep its own gears turning. The irony is this: the louder a government condemns the black market, the more it relies on it. Because black markets don't just move goods. They are the sole mechanism keeping order alive during chaos. They feed the soldier, fuel the truck, heal the sick. They work where bureaucracy chokes. During World War II, Allied officers bought fuel from the very smugglers they were supposed to arrest. In post-war Italy, the mafia's distribution network ran more efficiently than the government's. The underground world is civilization's emergency generator. And the battery of this generator? Gold. Gold demands no belief. It asks for no permission. It does not evaporate by the decree of politicians. In Berlin, Beirut, or Beijing, it means one thing: sovereignty. That is why every ideology that tries to replace gold eventually ends up crawling back to it. When the church banned interest in the Middle Ages, bankers hid gold behind exchange contracts. When the Soviets outlawed wealth, people hoarded Western coins in their safes. Modern central banks may mock gold as a historical relic, yet they are still buying it in record tons. Because deep down they know the truth: paper burns, gold remains. So, how does this shadow system actually work? It starts small. Someone trades cigarettes for sugar. A mechanic fixes a car for fuel. Then networks form: brokers, smugglers, middlemen, until the illegal economy becomes the only functioning economy. And this system is brutally honest. Prices are set not by decree, but by desperation. This is the moment when Adam Smith's invisible hand is replaced by a gun on the table. Who wins? Those with courage and information. Who loses? Those who continue to believe the official fairy tales. Every black market is a school, and its first lesson is harsh. Trust is the most expensive currency you can buy. But black markets leave deep scars on society, a society that learns to live in the shadows, never trusts the daylight again. After the Weimar trauma, Germany engraved the fear of inflation into its genes. After the Soviets, Russia turned into a gangster economy because the people learned that every law had a price. In Latin America, generations learned to measure the honesty of the state by the price of the dollar on the street. The shadow economy doesn't just reflect the collapse, it shapes what comes next. It recodes morality. It creates a new species of citizen, skeptical, cunning, and programmed for survival. This is the point Westerners fail to understand. They think it can't happen here, yet it is already happening. The packaging is just fancier. When Canada froze bank accounts during protests, the world saw the polite face of capital control. When the European Union marketed digital currency as transparency, the subtext was, your money is now programmable, and we hold the switch. When they called inflation transitory, they meant your poverty is permanent. Control is sold as convenience, surveillance as security, dependency as modernity. And just like every empire in history, the tighter they squeeze the ropes, the bigger the black market grows. You can ban trade, but you cannot ban need. The new black market is no longer in back alleys. It is in the digital world. It's in encrypted chats in Nigeria moving dollars faster than banks. It's in peer-to-peer crypto swaps in Argentina. It's in offshore accounts in Southeast Asia. The instinct is the same. To create an economy that cannot be frozen or seized. People are not rebelling, they are adapting. This is the silent revolution of the 21st century, sovereignty without permission.
While governments preach to you about financial crimes, central banks are quietly hoarding the world's oldest illegal asset, gold. They are not diversifying, they are taking a position against themselves. Because the black market starts with the citizen, but it always ends with the elite. When they realize the system they built is made of glass, they too start playing by underground rules. That is why studying the black market is not about crime, it is about clarity. It slaps you in the face with the moment every empire tries to hide, the moment trust vanishes. The black market is not the enemy of the system. It is the mirror of its failure. Every government that loses its credibility creates its replacement with its own hands. The official economy measures control. The black market measures truth. And when those two lines cross, do not think the collapse is coming. It has already arrived. So ask yourself this. If your bank closed tomorrow morning, if your salary turned to dust overnight, what would you have left to trade? That is your real economy. That is the real world beneath the Excel spreadsheets. History's verdict never changes. First, the official money dies. The black market follows. And gold? It never leaves the stage.
If what I shared today helped you see the world from a different perspective, don't forget to subscribe. Because history always has an answer. You just need to look from the right angle.